right, everybody, let's get to the crazy nuclear Thursday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cosmic, you're the first winner because you put in V2. V2. So, wanted a big shout out. Again, we got Mitch Ray coming in today. I'm going to bring him in about 15 or 20 minutes. Let's get caught up on the insanity. Absolute insanity. I think before we get into anything, what has changed? What's going on? Why today? Why? Obviously, the big CPI news, which was light. Which does that change everything? Does that change everything? And again, the thing to focus on, if this whole thing's going to snap, we want to see the 2-year yield. Let me bring this into view here. We talked about this 2 weeks ago of the HSI registering on the weekly with a check back. Now, today's the first bearish candle, but I've been saying no matter what, we have a check back here if interest rates are going to snap. If that's it, because that's the whole reason why the markets just continues to decline, go down, be depressed. The rising rates, the market's going to reflect it first, but if that's going to roll over, folks, it's in the 2-year yield. It's in the 2-year yield. That if this thing is a real collapse on the rates, look for like a 1618 little decline on the weekly of these last few bars. It's going to look better even on the 4-hour or daily. You're kind of looking for some kind of washout, basically straight back to 4%. If that happens, everything pops straight up in the air. It's crazy. And again, what we're seeing is absolutely unprecedented action, unprecedented behavior. We are in an unprecedented environment, no doubt. Big shout out again to the chat. Welcome, everybody. We're here Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Harmonic Pattern Podcast. Again, Mitch Ray coming in today. Miss Stephanie, please tweet out that Mitch Ray will be here on Twitter. Send out that link. Huge day. We're going to, long session, settle in, everybody. Get your coffee, get settled. We're going to look at some markets, and we're going to look at the larger consequences of what today means. It has been an insane 48 hours in the crypto space with all of these nerd shysters doing what they do, stealing your billions. It's just unconscionable. So again, let's get into the patterns, because that's what I have been saying, is that let's stick on the patterns even on an individual basis, crypto to crypto. We'll get to Ethereum in a minute, and I'll wrap up the top 5. You know, we've kind of been maintaining a top 5 list from harmonic pattern basis, and everything is doing insane things. All 5 of those are doing insane things based off of harmonic patterns. But the interest rate deal is what you need to watch, because you're essentially looking for a collapse in rates. If this market's going to pop and really be a different change in trend, it has to go from here. We've been saying this has to go from here, has to go from here. But really, this is the first time you've had such significant weekly reversal action, again, on 2-year yield. 10 years the same, but it's the first weekly bearish signal we have. And it's responding in ideal fashion. Look, here it is. Let me pop up. It's right here. We've been talking about this, and it's come out. Now what you want to see is this thing dive under the 50 zone on a weekly basis. That's the next 2 weeks. And then price action takes out the 3-bar low. The 3-bar range, again, is 426. 426. Under 426, you're in business. What's up, Paris Fisher? How are you today? Great to see you in the chat. Rico, Lucas, G-Dog, Creekman. What's going on? Again, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, folks. We're here 12 noon to 1. And a shout out to everybody that listens after hours. I know people that have to work and everything. I get some great notes from you guys, and those that are watching the recordings. Do feel free to contact me Contact me through harmonictrader.com, become a basic member, and access the resources. A couple questions on the books as well before I get too much further. If you're completely brand new, go to volume 1, please. These are all free downloads as a free basic member. Do I need to throw free in there again? I can say 3. And then if you understand harmonic patterns, get to Harmonic Trading 3 and go through the second half of that book. All the advanced type 1 and type 2 strategies are in that book. We're going to talk type 2 today. One other issue of business is that the Black Friday special, I've got that figured out. I just, title-wise, subject-wise, I'm nailing it down. It's going to be on type 1 reactions. We're going to do a Black Friday webinar. It'll be a special, so everybody that purchases, signs up, renews, whatever, for the TradingView or any of the Harmonic Pattern Collection programs, you guys will get to attend the seminar or become a gold, silver member. You guys can attend the seminar as a member. And let's just take a look at the calendar because, again, we're something to consider. The end of the year is 8 weeks from tomorrow. All right, is that crazy? End of the year is 8 weeks from tomorrow. Okay, Thanksgiving, 2 weeks from today. Remarkable. Christmas, 7 weeks from tomorrow. So, or no, 7 weeks from today. Yeah. Now let me see. When's Christmas? Christmas is on a Sunday. 7 weeks from Sunday. So we're getting crunch time, and then if things are going to give you a pop because rates have busted and the other patterns that we're about to get into are going to do something, it's here. But last thing about these rates, follow RSI, and we will in the next week, but amplified RSI has to roll over now. All of that comes out of the zone, and that's it. Your rates topped out on the 2-year yield at 5%, and that's it. And there's going to be, a muted response next month if they raise rates. They'll raise them, but it'll be less. So again, everybody, hit the subscribe button because we're starting early today. Normally we start 12 noon, but with the craziness going on, and we've got Mitch Ray coming in today for a knockdown session, and then I'm going to join him tonight. This is our first live joint stream since Vegas, so it'll be great to catch up with him. Anyway, let's get to the crypto space. And let's start with our top 5. Number 1 was Doge, folks. And why Doge? Because was there any speculative continuation going to shape up in this market after the big Doge? Nope. Do you have anything here now? Well, we talked about the HSI daily, but now this is oversold. And on the 4-hour chart, take a look. We do have where'd you go? Where's that bat pattern? There you go. You have a big bat pattern on Doge right here around 8.2 cents. And take a look. Start right off with this one. I know FTT and the other ones are the rage, and we'll get to them in a second. But look, this is textbook harmonic patterns. And what I want everyone to dial back is everything you're listening to, hearing, following on Twitter. Yes, it's a lot of fun to be on Twitter, and absolutely, craziness, crazy days in the web for sure. But we have to dial everything we need to do back to the patterns, confirmation. And so let me just step back and show you this, because the pattern completed yesterday, actually. And then we had confirmation right there, check back, 1, 2. Let me really blow this up. This is going to help us on everything we look at. Now, the thing I've been saying is look for 2 candles that confirm after confirmation. If we don't get an immediate reaction, this is what we want to see. Okay, pattern completes. There's the arrow. Okay, light switch goes on for the confirmation. But now we know these things are taking 3, 5 bars. 1 green candle, 2 green candles. This is a better spot for the pattern placement, for the opportunity. of the trade, 8.2. But after 2 1 2 candles that agree with what the pattern's suggesting, this is a type 1, we go to 11. So still early. Again, this is the interest rate thing. If that's it, and S&P's up 178 right now. The Dow is up 1,000. Nasdaq's up 650. This is massive. I know we've seen these individual days before, but this is different. It really, if it was, today's news changed kind of I guess the fundamental basis that interest rates, of inflation is going to keep ticking up. That's what it really means. And it's just like a data point that is making a new low under support. And we have some, at least for now, some overbought triggers that are now coming back. For crypto and the rest, I mean, we have to get into these situationally, these individually specific situations that, question the whole integrity of crypto, the exchanges. I mean, 24 hours ago, was Coinbase going to go under? Gemini? These other ones? Probably not, but with the FTX thing blowing up, that's what triggered this. But now, again, it doesn't really matter why. What are the patterns? Let's go to number 2 on the list, which is Ethereum. And we know, everybody that's been here, if you're new today, welcome. But everybody that's been here knows that Ethereum was probably the model. That's the Gartley. I know it's flashing a bat pattern. I'll get to that in a second. But this has been the model we have followed for the last couple of weeks, with that type 1 reaction up to target 2. There's HSI. And then we have been anticipating this return all along. Look at the last several podcasts where XA at 1225 minimum, HSI or hop level. What comes first? HSI just did. It doesn't register until tonight's close. Does not register. That HSI signal right here off the Gartley. And if we're going to assess the Ethereum situation, 1225 as that critical structural level, your confirmation level is back here, 1082. 1080. What do we know about 1080? Wasn't that the prior check back all the way here? 1040. Interesting. One of the first times we're seeing secondary confirmation. But hey, I do want to stress that this is still early. Even if we were going to treat this straight up, look for the HSI to confirm. We would still want to see the check back on this pattern, right? That doesn't change. You'd still want to see that retest. But it hit the structural type 2 level. I think everyone that's been here for the last several weeks, that's been the anticipation, as crazy it's been. I would have loved to see the hop level. I would have loved to seen that hop test get hit, 958. We do have this. This is, the software, and again, we're working with Harmonic Pattern Collection, okay? Should be clear about that, and which everyone needs to get a free trial over on the basic members page. Okay, 14-day free trial. Send your username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. Get with this, because that's what we've been following. And we've had a couple of retracement structures. I think, in general, we're looking at that 11 to 1200 level, the HSI that generates today on just about all of them. Generating on just about all of them. And it's another pattern inside a pattern. I just think it's a one-day. This is the start of, if you're there with that pattern, the first day of the retest. Let me go. It's this one. There you go. Keep an eye on that development. That return phase is over, obviously. Okay, do we have check back confirmation? We'll see in a couple days. That was our number two. Our number three coin that we've been monitoring, Binance coin. This thing is lunatic. It really is. When you get to something like this and what's happened with Binance coin when it's this crazy, you really have to say you have to get regulation in this space. Yesterday we came in here, or Tuesday we were here, and this thing was doing this overhaul run, trying to break out. Looked like it was trying to threaten some kind of massive breakout if it was able to close, but then by the end of the session the thing was just imploding. That's not normal. I mean, this is like option. This is like trading like options, like weekly options. Long-term crypto price action is trading like literally weekly option behavior. We had two patterns, HSI confirmation, everything at 350, 347, even 340 was a great number, and came back down to target one off the shark, target two at 266. And that's, I think, if crypto is going to do anything from here, Binance Coin would have to lead it out of the hole, and do something spectacular. But the rejection and nothing's really changed in terms of how much garbage is going on. It really is disheartening, to think about, fellow traders in the crypto space getting their accounts just gone, eviscerated, not by any fault of their own, even if you had any money in that exchange. So I think anything that you're doing, again, remains a reaction off of harmonic patterns, that should not change any kind of trading. I don't see any point where we're long-term accumulating anything yet. Even Ethereum, with as beautiful as that Type 2 was, you're days away from still trying to think that that's the start of a major move. It's impressive, but it's not there yet, and there's going to be plenty of time. There's that time thing. So Binance Coin, though, if you're trading it, 330, 300 area, above 300, I don't expect that. I would just use HSI, quite frankly, and wait for the next trigger of HSI to get overbought on your 4-hour or your hourly. Unless this thing was to absolutely explode, which I don't see it doing, your range on Binance Coin is 330 on the top side, and target 2 down here at 270. That's 3. Number 4 was Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, we kept saying 19.4, 19.4. Here's the daily chart. I want to show a couple things on Bitcoin that are, not to mention some HSI signals, but the shark pattern that we had and all the rest of it that was trying to put a floor at 18,000, and then we said bump the stops because it's no longer 18,000, it's 19.4. So that's what happens. And at this point with Bitcoin, despite today, I mean, you're up $2,000. Congrats. Well done. Great. When you're you've done what this has done, what Bitcoin has done after the 4-5 months, like here, go back to the June all the way now, you're 147 days roughly. Okay. You haven't done anything, and you've formed a small pattern trying to stabilize in the zone when there's no stabilization. Look at the indicators. HSI is not even oversold. So with a big flush like that, I would still want to see this come down lower. I'm really disappointed with the actions of the last couple of days for sure. And Bitcoin, like the rest of them, it's not a safe haven. And this is the big thing that I keep coming back to. We're at this point with that kind of major candle. For me, the only number under the 19.4 18,000, whatever, is the 886 at 11. Full reset off the COVID low. However you want to do it. Call it 10,000, call it 12,000. It really doesn't matter. You got to break down clearly. That's what that candle is. And even if that thing was a big shakeout candle, let's say it reversed 5,000 or $10,000 and gave you a big bullish candle, you're still weeks away from resolving anything. And we keep on saying that. Yesterday was a textbook flush. Take everything else out that you consider. And is that a shakeout or is that a continuation? Looks like pretty nasty bearish flag pennant, however you want to call that. But ratio-wise, only thing down here is the 886. And that's been our big weekly default, if not monthly default. So, quick question. What does HSI stand for? Harmonic Strength Index. That is our harmonic indicator. It's, just to let everybody know, founded in the concepts of relative strength with a bunch of harmonic ratio percentage calculations put on top of it. Again, I implore everyone in here to get a trial to the software, and you can see how we frame out the levels. Go and look at the last several sessions, what we've been saying about Ethereum, and a lot of these that have shaped up where the patterns are following the framework, type 1 reaction, type 2 reversal over and over again. Number 5 on our list was Cosmos, and it was either $8 or $11 on this bat pattern that, here we go, there it is now. Again, amazing how fast that happened. I mean, it's your XA level down here was at 770, 1075. Trade almost at 9. Still, I don't have any confirmation on this yet. Okay, we've talked about why this was such a perfect type 1. You go back, I don't know, 2 weeks and look at those sessions. Cosmos did a perfect reaction, but then ran into target 2. Reaction over. We've been talking return the whole time. HSI didn't register on the daily. Did not register on the daily. So, around $11. Look at that. If this is going to be something where it's a larger pattern off of, some kind of previous peak, you're still going to be a couple days away. So it's, really tempting to take a look at all of this stuff and think this is just going to explode from here with like a one-day event. I still say plenty of time. And we've been looking for that 2 or 3 day for the bearish setups, waiting for, a second day confirmation. We never got. Take a look at a couple of these specialty. Let's look at the FTX token. FTT here. I mean, that's, this and Solana. I'll get to those in a second. And then in about 5 minutes, we're going to get Mitch Ray in here. I'm going to bring Mitch. Let me go make sure he's there. I'm going to give him a quick notice and just give him a 5-minute call. If he's in here. Oh, wait, hold on. He did a monster stream last night. Oh, wait, hold on, everybody. Don't worry about it, Mitch. Maybe we gotta delay. We might have to delay Mitch. Take your time, Mitch. Okay. Here's FTT. Now, what do you do with that? There you go. Trying to form, technically it's an all-time bat pattern. That's what the software is, this light blue. Now, we looked at this on Tuesday as it was plummeting from 20 before it hit $1. we had a hop level and a Gartley, couple things at around, one was 18, the other was like 12. Yeah, that one on the FTX exchange. Okay, straight on through. So obviously, great reason for waiting for confirmation. But look, everything here on FT token with the 886, and even the Gartley told you major problems once you crack that 20 level, 22, without even knowing anything about the story. And so down here now, this has been ever since that dollar level. Okay, bouncing around quite nicely as a trading vehicle. Let me bring up, I wanted to just flash everybody this. Pull up like a 30-second, or even, here's a crazy one, pull up a 5-second chart. You want to see some crazy patterns. On FTT token, if you're using your software, check out the 5-second interval for FTT. So just wanted to flash this as an idea for how to take advantage of this craziness. Do you just jump in and buy? No. I think focus on your time interval. Let's say you want to day trade it. You're in front of the screen. Pull up a 5-second chart. Pull up a 15-second chart. Something like that. And take a look at some of the patterns that are developing where when you're in this is a special situation. It's like a one-day situation, really, maybe a couple-day situation. But you'll get stuff like this. And I'm going to go to Solana in a minute as well. But take a look at that. Run through the software. I mean, here is just 45 minutes ago. Yeah, what was that, an hour ago? No, 2 hours ago. Okay, perfect type 2 bat pattern. And this is the other thing. You kind of have to go Jedi mind trick on this, where you got to suspend everything you're hearing in your head or reading in tweets, and you just have to follow type 1, type 2. You have to go through and understand type 1 reaction and then type 2 reversal if you're looking for a major point. If it's going to retest, secondary retest, it's doing it in that regard. And forget everything else. Just know, hey, this is the patterns framing out the levels of possibility. 320, what the XA is 329, HOP is 322. As a day trade, think of it that way. I mean, this is within 10 minutes. It goes from 322 to 344. Again, trading like an option. But you manage it aggressively, okay? And you ride the signs. I mean, you could trade that on a type 2 until the first HSI. Just think of it that way. There are opportunities here in all of this craziness. Just adjust the time frame to following it today. But FTT longer term, I've got nothing for you. I don't want to mess around with that other than if you were going to. This is like Luna, okay? Remember Luna? Yeah, this is like Luna after it crashed and then gave you some crazy percentage moves, but not, anything then if purely day trading speculation. That's it. Don't want to mess with it. Don't want to hold it overnight and be in front of your screen to trade the swings. If you're there for a few hours and can trade it, I would suggest doing that. I don't have any triggers on it or anything major like I do Ethereum, but keep an eye on it. Let's go to Solana really quick because that's the other one that's completely overdone and felt like that was going to zero. Here's the daily chart first. Okay, I mean, that's just brutal. 32, well, there's the last daily HSI. Jeez. At 34. They took it up and then smacked it. What was the low? 10 bucks? $12 was the low for Solana. There's nothing there. I mean, 4-hour chart. Oh, that was nice. Beautiful shark pattern into that crash. That's look, I have a tough time when we see this repeated over and over again, these things blowing up. But absolutely have to question what the heck's going on. But those are the big ones we've seen. Really quick, the total index on the daily, remember this? Now what? Remember the crab pattern we thought would do a type 2? And ever since that little crab at the beginning of the month registered, yikes. It's not the first time. But that was the crab pattern, and I thought, all right, come down to maybe target one, target two, and then come back and then tank into the end of the year. Nothing, not there, and I would have to dial this whole thing back and say, all right, yeah, you're trying to, that blue structure is trying to develop or show a shark pattern, but sorry. And you have to look, HSI is trying to come out of the zone on total. What's that mean? That means your indicators are oversold, but they haven't registered yet. Weekly is an uglier picture. Despite today's little pullback, the downdraft from today, basically trying to retest the low, took out the low for a minute, but you're still in a downtrend. I mean, this is still big in the downtrend that, again, I think like that until you get an HSI, until some kind of major pattern flashes. I'm going to have to say this is already flashing an 886. The 886 on the total index is about 400 billion. Yeah. 450 billion. So despite this bounce, okay, I think it's going to be short-lived. And I would be really suspect of it because unless there was a pattern there, a couple more. XRP, whoever wrote that, Bob, you just read my mind. XRP, Bob. Exactly. Remember when we were talking about XRP doing the return to 37 cents? Check it out. One of the things I'm going to do in the seminar in early December, the Black Friday seminar, folks, is I'm going to focus on type 1 reactions exclusively and basically go from type 1, what identifies the opportunity, to the point of the end of the type 1 into the type 2. Because I think it helps for trade management perspective to know when the reaction is over or what are the clear signs. Because you hit certain structural minimums and then you're looking for some technical things to happen. It's probably the clearest way to describe it. But since for XRP, we've been talking 32, this big crab pattern at 37 cents, again, depending on the stupid feed, but we had a number of patterns, 32 cents. The weekly is 37. And we came back. Here's the bat pattern. And this is what we've been drawing since that first thrust of 50 cents. Okay, is it went to 50 cents and then registered a weekly HSI, and we said, okay, look for that check, another retest of the XA level at 37.4. That's what we got. Now, what's the other piece to that? Some kind of confirmation variable. Whereas HSI nowhere to be found. So you're still quite early on that. Impressive that it bounced or it's trying to hold, but I would not even want to look for that. Wouldn't consider that retest complete until we get an HSI signal on XRP, and also take note of what amplified RSI is doing coming into that oversold zone. It would need to retest. So that's, again, I said this Tuesday. I will repeat myself of why we have to assess these individually and follow the 1-2 framework, type 1, type 2, with confirmation. And the confirmation piece is tricky because, hey, what if I miss some major move? If you don't have confirmation, chances are it's a reaction anyway. Challenging. It's real challenging. This has been a difficult year, folks. This year reminds me of 2002. Sorry, 2000 to 2001. 2001 probably. The crypto are the .com stocks. They blow up individually and seemingly no end. That's where we are. Um, absolutely. Hey, so Thursdays we give away books. So let's do a quick book giveaway. First person to type in V2. V2. We're giving away volume 2s today. Harmonic Trading volume 2s today. So the next person to give away volume 2, type in V2 into the chat. We'll send you a free book. Every Thursday we give away a couple of books. We usually give it the first book to the first person that's in here that types the word or whatever that we tell you from Tuesday's session. So Jeffrey Hammond, you win the V2. There you go. We'll give away another book towards the end. Also, Cosmic Clearance, you're the other one who won the book coming into today. The first couple of guys, today's word was V2, not V3. Sorry, V3s are back ordered. We'll give away some more V2s because I know a lot of people don't have that. But really quick, if you want to get that information, again, everything is free, literally free. Just send your email, input your email for the basic sign up here on the website, and then go to the basic members page, which is up there. And then volume 2 is right there. And that book was done in 2007. And this has the volume 2 is a great book because it introduces the confirmation strategies and ideology, really that overall framework, utilizing relative strength. And it's all the way down. Go to like the second half of the book, and you'll see stuff like this is the basic idea, which I know it's crazy, but what we're looking for, and the radical concept at that time was, hey, let's put a structural measurement with a pattern and an extreme indicator like relative strength, because we can trade those reactions. And that's really the gist of it. And again, I'll talk about that in our seminar in December. December 4? December 3rd. December 3rd is that session. It's the first Saturday after Black Friday. But we're going to look at more of these situations, especially in crypto, where we want the oversold indicator. And you can use relative strength. I mean, look, if you don't have my program and you're just measuring by hand, do use relative strength, but use the right metrics. It's critical. What's going on with the rest of it? So we'll give a few away. I'll give you away probably 2 more, and Mitch Ray is going to be back here in a little while. He's got, I think he had a couple of things that he'd take care of. I think we'll blame it on the time change, Mitch, but no worries. And that's what we're looking for down here, folks. Again, a big return phase that happened on your daily charts across the board with a lot of this stuff. XRP was just like Ethereum. And the only way you're going to know that is if you understand the harmonic pattern framework. Type 1, type 2, work with the software, follow what we do here. The other thing is go to our Discord, please. So our Discord link is available on the, go to your basic members page, again, back here. The Discord link is at the bottom of the page. Just click on right there. And we've got our crew, Miss Stephanie in there, everybody's in there, and it looks like this. So go over here, and our folks are in there. Check that out. And there's tons of info as well. Oh, the guys did a cheat sheet as well for all the patterns. So if someone can repost that in the Discord for the new people, there's that pattern cheat sheet. That was great. But everything that we do and everything that we're sticking to in this crazy environment comes down to the framework. So if you want to learn about the harmonic pattern framework, go to volume 3 and scroll to the bottom. About 2/3 of the way down. Where are we going here? Nope, I'm sorry. Probably like halfway through. There you go. Oh. Let me find this for everybody. Oh, that's the 5.0 Shark. So volume 3 has all the patterns as like a summary, but you want to look at the framework. I'll have to find this later. There you go. Yeah, go towards the back. It's like page 300. There you go, type 1, type 2. Oh, yeah. But that's the normal anticipated move for every pattern. And it's standard technical analysis, initial inflection, secondary retest. But with the patterns, we get stuff like this. You get a pattern, clear reaction, come back, retest the definable levels. XRP was just one of a few. I want to highlight a couple more that, again, plenty of time here. I'm not saying jump in today, but if these have officially completed, they're going to start the change now. I'm not there yet, though. I'm not there yet. It's been too crazy. But I want to look at things like Ethereum Classic. Go on this weekly time frame for Ethereum Classic. Now, listen, we talked about this recently, that it was a beautiful butterfly. And Ethereum Classic, $20, defined the end of the type 2. Perfect type 1 reaction on the weekly. Look, pattern completes there. First trigger starts there. And then you check back, okay? And we have videos and everything about this sequence on the website. Check that out. But that's the basic confirmation strategy. And then the thing I've been talking about over the last 4 to 6 weeks is, let's throw one little additional element in there. Okay, this is the check back point where we say, I'm seriously going to execute. I'm looking for the opportunity right there. But I said, no, let's wait for that check back. And now let's wait for 2 individual candles. And for Ethereum Classic, it was there. We're on the check back now. Okay. Sorry, we're on the retest for the Ethereum Classic, $20 weekly level. If it's going to be a major support point, if it is, okay, you don't have any confirmation on the retest. So stick the flag up. Be cautious here. Not there yet. I'm certainly, eyes are peeled at $20, but we've seen how this stuff can do a nominal reaction and come back down. That's why I'm waiting for HSI to trigger. It did the last 2 times. Look, there was the bullish one, and then up here, the bearish candle with the HSI check back right there at 38 and down since. And even if you waited for, look, bearish trigger, check back 1 candle, 2 candles, still by $28, you're saying this thing's falling apart. It's not difficult. Once you follow through what we're doing here, okay, and you just follow the triggers, adhere to the levels, we can navigate this puppy. We got to. We have to. Otherwise, it's a free-for-all and a whipsaw. On a more general perspective, I still say there's problems with things like FTX. Fundamentally, it's kind of like the 2008 crisis when all the banks were going under. And a lot of the banks started trading for pennies on the dollar. Some were amazing speculative buys. Others went just bankrupt. My poor Bank United. One other one. Major pattern here on Ethereum name server on the daily. Check this out. Look at these back-to-back patterns. Ethereum name service. Okay. Couple of butterfly, crab. All of that was around $18. And now we're back down here on the reaction off of that butterfly around 1150 with a crab in development. A whole bunch of, there's the crab. 1013 was the 1618. No confirmation yet, though. But structurally, some real nice patterns shaping up here. Couple more. Okay, here's something that is absolutely insane. Synthetics. We've talked about synthetics for a while. And all the way back down, did the type 1 off the butterfly, and came back down. XA levels at 199. So you're right back there. I mean, you no confirmation there yet, but you did do the return phase. And wasn't there something else here? There was something else there. But you have fully retested. That was one of several like that we're doing the retest, the type 2 return phase. Um, Here's Monero. Remember this? Amazing. That's a daily bat, but I think the weekly patterns are more of what to be looking for. Monero, it's a type 2, another one without confirmation, but um, shout out to all the new people on the software. People that have been working with the program know about the hop level. If you see a hop level on your weekly chart, I want you to pay close attention to that level as an area to locate the trade. Because Monero, is it 135 or is it 111? I think it's closer to 111. No confirmation here, but you're trying to stabilize. I just don't think, like a lot of these, okay, what's the problem with Monero is you haven't busted out of the downtrend still. But the weekly pattern, significant. That's where the opportunity sits. This looks really ugly. If I take out today, the little rebound today, the candle, the breakdown here says to me, it's got to come back to the hop and register a bullish HSI. That's the other one. And you don't have HSI. This bottom indicator is Harmonic Strength Index. Not anywhere that lines up with the pattern. So I like structurally like that. I like what that says, but it's going to take more time before that triggers. And daily, you're again reacting off of this kind of thing. It's 886. Oh, what is it? Oh yeah, it's a crab. There you go. It's a butterfly. Sorry. And this is what we traced out last time we looked at it. Type 1 reaction, come all the way back down. Type 2. Hop level, again, 111. 111 on Monero. Here's something that's a problem. Okay, Zcash, new lows. If we were to take out the patterns, okay, and not even look at them, I'd say something like this is just going to go back to the 0 point. What are your lows? They're there. You're almost there. Did you flush down to there? Almost. I mean, that was 33 at the low. Okay. This has got to do a long base. There's no, despite being so oversold, there's nothing there on Monero that would tell us otherwise. Tough. Let's just do the Litecoin. Remember those? What did they do? Check it out. It was a Gartley, 2 of 2, 68. There's the pattern completes. There's again another reaction, no confirmation, and then came all the way back. Now you have confirmation up at around 72. That's a problem for Litecoin, despite the rebound, go to 50 to currently 59. But that's like just a one-day thing. Probably grind in that zone for a while. Here's the other thing that I wanted to highlight before I jump over to stocks. Sandbox. Okay, we had a bat pattern, has a bigger pattern at 60. This is a real problem with stretching out. No reaction off of the big bat pattern on the daily chart. Okay, and then we've been talking about this and Mana. They had smaller patterns after the bigger patterns. And this last sell-off basically scraped last ditch level. Anything under the current low, you go under 55, forget about it. It's over. I still don't like it. I don't like it because you don't have any confirmation. It was a really hard flush from just even in 85 cents last week down to 60. That's terrible price action. And these patterns continue to do very little harmonic dud action. At best, if Sandbox could go sideways and stabilize at the 60-cent level, Otherwise, I'd say that thing is going to do like any of them. If we're vulnerable, like the Solana, like FTT, 1 day reaction. That's about it. One or two more. I did want to show. I forgot to show the Bitcoin futures chart. So let's jump to there really quick. Bitcoin futures did something a few days ago, and we haven't looked at this in a while, but I want to go off of this because even though we had the pattern, it failed. There's Bitcoin futures on the daily. All right, remember this deep crab pattern? Again, 19.4, 19,400 was another reason why that was so critical. Last week, we had a bearish HSI. And a few of the coins that we talked about did, like Ethereum had a bearish HSI at around 1550. That sealed the deal. Now you got this Bitcoin futures chart. Take a look at the weekly, and this is what concerns me. Even today, even with today, okay, even with today, I just little recovery today. Again, in the longer term context, you failed a major structural possibility at 19.4. Let me bring this back really quick. Is that? Oh, it's not Bitcoin futures, it's GBTC. Check out GBTC on a monthly. Now, this is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust structurally. What does it say to us? Weekly, I'm sorry. Go to the weekly chart. We had a big Gartley at $12 on the week. It did nothing. And had a check back. You had a few green candles. Basically, even if we were going to wait, say, there's the check back, and then wait for one, and then your second bullish candle at the terminal bar, that has failed. You hit the terminal, 12 would be the ideal area in that zone. Total dud for the better part of 2 months. If I'm looking at that pattern on any other market, any time frame, I'd say you go to the hop level or another HSI test, meaning you broke the structural level. You're going to need another something oversold event to trigger anything out of there. So that's troubling. And that's GBTC's 9. Hop level's 256. Everyone take note of that, please. Hop level at 2.56. Let's just put that down for right now. And GBTC is a secondary ancillary vehicle to get some kind of a perspective on what is possible here. It's troubling. Again, I'm not today's spectacular rebound move, so be it, but it's really not much relative to the long-term breakdown that failed with confirmation. Yikes. So 256, folks, on the Grayscale Trust, and I think isn't that the Ethereum one too? No. What's the Ethereum ETF? Someone quickly figure it out. I forget what the Ethereum is, the Ethereum Trust. I'll come back to that in a second. But this Grayscale Trust, the weekly, you fail a pattern like that, you're going deeper into the zone. So despite today, it doesn't really do anything for me, and I'm going to just say this is still going to take more time, or got to get to the 886 here, down in this, do something at that 886 level, which is 693 all time. Thank you. Let's look at that ETH, ETHE. Thank you. Appreciate it. On TradingView, the hop is 115. Thank you, Reacher. I'll look at that in a second. Here's the Ethereum Grayscale Trust. I'll go to that. It could be grabbing off of a different time interval. Here's the daily. Nope. The last one was a bearish signal. Weekly. Yeah, I know we talked about that deep crab before, but nothing there. Nothing there. I'm not. You'd see that be different. You would see confirmation. You would see a pattern. So those don't help. The Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Let's look at it on the TradingView platform. Again, GBTC. Why would they be different? Because they might be grabbing off a slightly different data. Let me check it out, or maybe 24-hour interval. Beautiful pattern. Yeah, it's a beautiful pattern, but that failed. Hop level on this one is 256. So I don't know what. Reacher, can you email me your chart? I don't know why you were saying the hop level is at 156. Maybe it's the potential. Oh, actually, no. It's trying to reach off of 2 points. I'd always go with the bigger the pattern, the better. Hey, there's a disclaimer. Yeah. Either way, it still says with this breakdown, you got hop levels at 256, and you've busted the zone. I mean, there you are. What are we rolling over? Let me come back. Where's Ethereum right now? And I do want to reorder. We are rolling over. Look, I want to reorder the top 5. So before we get out of crypto, let's reorder the top 5. And I'll explain why. Number 5. Excuse me. Number 1 is now Ethereum. Why? Because you have a couple of patterns. We're at the 886 off of the low, off this bat pattern. Sure. What we've been talking about, though, really has been a Gartley. This Gartley. Sorry. Come on back. Where'd it go? Yeah, this Gartley. And by definition, it is a type 2. Okay, thing we have to watch for today, and I leave this with everybody, is a successful HSI test. Meaning, and you see that it's not on anymore. So when this was $70 higher, not too long ago, I mean, we started 45 minutes ago, that was trading 13.30. Now trading 12.50, down $80. And HSI is not turning on anymore. Let's go to the 1 minute chart really quick. Yeah, look at that. Was 330, now 250. But that just killed the HSI signal. So it's not official. And again, if we don't go on, if HSI does not turn on tonight, you have more time. I still say you have more work to do. But if that was going to be a successful retest, it would have to register, and you'd have to retest the low. So again, keep that in mind. 1085, a retest down there eventually is still possible to confirm that trigger. Definitely wait on for that formation, because we could, depending on where we close, let's say we do register, we would close tonight, and the next day or two have to come back down and retest that low. That's how we would look at that. This has got reaction written all over it. For now. And don't forget, all of them are still being controlled by the daily, or is it daily or weekly? It's a daily. It's the big crab pattern. I don't know why I can't find it. There it is, crab pattern. So even against the larger pattern, look, our last HSI signal on Ethereum was bearish, perfect check back. Forget the other patterns we were talking about. If I was just basing it off of this crab, Okay, I would want to see another HSI signal. HSI is in the oversold, but it has to come out. And that's all early. Again, this puts us a day or two early. Okay, I think Mitch is ready. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, I was going off on a tangent, my friend. Yep, let me dial Mitch in. He's ready. He's back. Let me make sure we're all set to go. And oh, I know what I got to do. Mitch, I'm going to dial you in 1 moment. Get Mitch Ray in here. Bring you. Oh, good. We're good. 1 second. Okay, I'm dialing Mitch right now. Mitch Ray TA, everybody. Hey, Mitch. Let me. Good. Let me get your mic on.
Sweet.
Excellent. Mitch Ray, everybody. He is in the house. Big shout out,
Hello.
please, in the chat for Mitch Ray. Thanks for showing up today.
Yeah, man. Let me ping my Discord real quick.
Let
Let
me
them know
let me bring up your levels.
the R signal.
There you go. You're boosted. Let me know
Ooh,
how
I'm
Mitch
boosted.
sounds,
Can I
guys.
get a bass boost too?
I give you any boost you want
Treble.
today.
Sweet. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
man. It's what a wild market.
one
What
of the
a crazy black swan kind of event that occurred.
definitely one of the craziest times grinding. It's not over. It's just another single day, one-off event. But it's been something else, man, since you and I last were together in Vegas.
Yeah, definitely, man. Not much had changed, really, um, until 2 days ago. Since Vegas, and that I can just tell you how mind numbing this market has been, how flat it's been, the lack of velocity in the moves until again, some overweight scammer scams a million users. Then you get the move down. Then you get some velocity, and it was the lowest price we had seen in a long time, in 2 years. 2 years, right? Yesterday was the lowest price since November 9th. No, I'm sorry, November 11th, 2020. And we officially, I mean, I'm sure you've been all over it, but officially we have achieved a 78% retrace from the COVID crash low to no, in fact, not even the COVID crash low. It was the low, the global low from December, 10th, 2018. From that low to the all-time
Mm,
high, we hit a
yeah,
786.
remember that.
So, that's cool and all. I mean, you figure at any kind of 786, 886, you'll catch reactions, but no formal support where we are. In fact, it looks like we're kind of just coming to back test the old supports that we had built over the course of 5 months, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a couple ways to look at the current breakdown, but I think you got to go like you're saying, larger scale. Look at your retracements. Yeah, 786. Yeah, off of that other low, and with only 886 left, which is 11,000 range. And then even if like forget everything else, anything else, and everything else, even if we were looking at this breakdown, um, we would have to assume that this puppy is now becoming a 1618 minimum throwdown move. If let's say that was the last leg, just for grins, and I'm gonna get to something in a second that, um, just for to think about it this way. If that was, we're trying to shake everybody out. A real common thing, and this can happen on 5 minute charts or even on any chart really, but you get this initial inflection low and then you try to build some kind of divergences down here at a 1618 off of this segment. And again, all of that, we're doing that. All of that points to this 1211 area. Hold on 1 second. What's going on?
Yeah.
1 second. I think I got.
What happened?
Hold on, I think there's something on my levels.
Oh, maybe it's country music. My God,
Oh,
I
I
don't even
see it.
know if you.
Yeah, there we go. Let's bounce it up. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for letting me know. I don't know what's going on that one. Yeah, I caught part of your 6 hour live stream yesterday, and you guys had some ghost music playing.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Never. I mean, 5 years doing this never existed until like 3 days ago, maybe, and now people are telling me I've got to get all these different chords and stuff, and it's just crazy. Yeah. So yeah, you were talking about 12K
Yeah,
on Bitcoin.
yeah. This 1618. I mean, it's just structurally way to
That's
think.
12,925, right?
Yeah,
That's what I've got. Yeah. D crab.
and I had a little overbought actually reading from last week with that little surge. I mean, it's just
Oh
with
God.
my harmonic strength index. That's not a good sign. It's been so lackluster with that flush and nothing down here. I don't.
Yeah,
Is
no
there
support.
anything down here that would say? I know a lot of people were saying 14 or 15K. What is 14K to you? 14 or
It's
15K?
a
Anything?
it's certainly an untested potential level. It's a potential support. It's an untested support, right? Meaning it's an inflection point. Okay, because in 2019 that was that minor cycles top when you hit that global 618 and reversed. And from that reversal, we eventually saw 3850 in the COVID crash lows. But that's it. An untested peak is not formally a support until it actually the asset runs to test it successfully, and it's regarded as a reversal area. So it's not strong. That they can't. We saw a level just like that on Ethereum this summer, and it was. Let me go to it real quick on Ethereum earlier this summer on an untried, untested level that was it was a dead cat bounce from February 2018. In fact, 1420 itself, the previous cycle top on Ethereum, when Ethereum was crashing this summer, the date was June 13th. You just capitulated through it. The sellers just pushed the price below 1420 like it was a hot knife through butter, and it went straight down to nearly the peak from May of 2018 before finally rebounding. So that is definitely if things are getting bad and Bitcoin's going to run and quote unquote test that 14K level. If things are bad, it may not hold up how people are thinking as a support. So um, in fact, the only place where there's actual inflection that has historical backing, I mean, we're talking like 10.6 to kind of 11.5, I mean 10.5 to 11.5, that zone, because you have a multitude of levels where it's been tested as resistance and support. There was one time September 2020 when it was regarded as support, 10.4 or whatever. So that's my opinion on it. Untested as a support, but could be. We know it's an inflection point, but it may not be a support. Because never before.
Yeah, Mitch is talking about a lot of these prior important levels, the prior peak levels, long term chart, both Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's yeah, down there around 14K, I guess, but nothing else, nothing structurally. And I still say at this point, you got to go for wait for the 886 to resolve the whole thing. We've seen that before. Um, the other, I don't know if you saw, I was showing it earlier with the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is really ugly on the
Oh
break
yeah,
with
man.
that breakdown is
Good support though, perfectly. I mean, that's exactly where we're supposed to go was $9. That was the target. Once you broke 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1234. The only thing that made any sense was 907, 825. You hit it like the Jesus. But it was amazing because you had broken below that 1234, and recently, October 26th and November 4th, you formally back tested that inflection zone as resistance. That's amazing before rolling over. So you
yeah.
got to really admire and respect how the levels were respected. And now we're at the next level. It's a very strong level, 825 to 907. I mean, multitude of times on GBTC, it's been inflection zone, like July 2018. June 2019, October 2019, January 2020, July 2020. I mean, this should be pretty strong of support, but if you don't hold 825, it's a very fast and easy ride down to 370 to $5.
Interesting. Yeah, that's what I was saying to the crew here. The software's kicking out a hop level off the Gartley, and I already feel like if we violated this, we fail this zone, which I think we have, and that's what you're saying. Um, all I have is hop at 256, which is, you know, not. It's not a stretch. It's just not a stretch for adhering to so many levels so neatly, but then being kind of a dud pattern. The 12 level dud support. That 12 level equates to basically 20K on Bitcoin. And if that's a failure, then you're not. Yeah, there's nothing here. There's nothing there in terms of even a signal, an oversold signal. RSI on the weekly basis is there. It's back in the zone with the weekly chart, and that's an ugly RSI formation. That again, until you go in, come back out, you're going to go continue to go down.
Yeah, and in terms of just comparing Bitcoin spot price to the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, if you use the same anchor points from that low, that 3150 low, December 2018, to the all-time high,
Mm,
remember, Bitcoin has just now achieved a 786 at 17,265. I mean, as of yesterday. And we're looking at GBTC with the same anchoring. You have fallen below an 88% retrace. So
yeah,
massive disparity. I mean, that's just awful. How you fallen below an 886 here? Yeah.
yeah. It's because it's super weak. There's everyone's ditching to get out without any regard for um, price. It just hitting the eject button, and maybe that's not shown up quite yet in the same way proportionally with Bitcoin spot.
Sorry.
So that 886 you're talking about again puts you well under 10,000. I mean that gets you to 9,000. What do you
A
think
spot
is it?
price.
What's that?
Spot price 886.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Spot price 886 from 3150 to the all-time high would be 10,667 on mine anyway.
yeah. Oh, it's I don't
So
know what
that's
the again stupid feed, but or just go all
that is
time indefinite.
confluent. I mean, that's pretty much confluent with peaks from November 2019, February 2020, June 2020, and a valley from September 2020. And you're really close to that high from May of 2018 and some highs from March 2018. So, I mean, if you're talking about 886, it is backed with confluence of key levels from history. So that is not a bad target at all. 10,667. But so it's either you see a 1618 locally, that's being Black Saturday's lows, A being August highs, either 1618 at 12,925, or and it could be, and it's lined up. I mean, with a daily candle high close from June of 2019, so that is definitely a potential area for a reaction. So it's either 12.9 or 10.6, probably your big ones here. But where you are now, nothing makes sense. Um, like it just a reversal now would be random at best,
Yeah.
very random. Because never in history, not one time, has Bitcoin ever reversed at 15.8 wherever the heck we went. So
Yeah, and then you go to the other big ones that have barely held up, like Cardano is just waiting. It's just begging to go back down to,
oh yeah, man.
the all these lows. I think 12, 15 cents area. You've got a few other readings, but ever since we violated 40, 38, um, you're just week over week grinding lower with this is we've seen what
Now
can
below for
happen.
more
We
supports.
spent the whole summer just screwing around with Bitcoin going sideways and then eventually flushes. This is where these other ones start to just show that precursor formation before the flash.
Yeah. Um, And I think it's just, yeah, you're dealing with, oh, it's CPI day. Oh, I'm so excited. 7.7% inflation. We did it, man. I mean, that's the way the market's reacting, responding. Like, wow, we
Yeah.
did it. I guess recession over. I guess all these scary bad things happening in the macro don't matter anymore. I
No,
guess.
I started today's session. I showed a couple of interest rate charts um, that were, starting to roll over. But yeah, there's still a lot of time that has to transpire before anything changes. I mean, you're even a couple of weeks away in the best of cases. If this thing rolled over immediately, you're still 2 weeks away, two bearish candles away, if you will, from changing anything or even going into a pause. So I just wanted to show you this because this is the 2 year is peaked out at 5, and although again nothing changes until you can break
Do you
down.
hear you say?
Let me show you this here. I'm popping this on the screen, but give it a second to show. But 5% on the 2 year yield was a pretty big number, but the measured number was around 453. It's just a weekly overbought reading. So can you get these interest rates to at least stop going up? I even in the best situation, you are one more week down week before you can even make that assumption. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like this is most, this is the biggest red candle we've seen. I mean, at least you haven't even seen one of this whole run. The whole run kind of started June of 2021. We have not seen a candle this red on the weekly since then. This is a big bearish engulfing candle, 1 day, 4 hours till it's confirmed. Um, there is definitely, if you can believe it, some bearish divergence on the weekly oscillators. So, I mean, but at the same time, you'd broken the formal level at 3.86%. I think it was like, 3.7 to 3.8. And breaking that level historically, pretty much the only thing you always ever do is go up to 5%. I mean, that high from 2006. And yeah, so now you're just in between two major levels, 3.8 and 5.3 with some bearish divergence. So, I mean, maybe a back test of 3.88 or 3.84 before, going higher. Just long extended.
back to 4 is, I think, a likely spot. I did mention this last week here on the podcast with us reaching this multi-year 1618. So I find it really interesting that from 2018 high down to the low, we pivoted right at the 1618
We sure did.
on the 2 year yield
Wow.
weekly.
Golden mean ratio. Yep.
And that
Amen to
means
that.
something.
Yeah, traders never even settled up above it. They just went and tested it last week and this week at the top, right? It was like 4.7.
Hmm.
And so two tests, 2 different weeks, and kind of reversing I mean, you got bearish divergence at the 1618. Yeah, that's a good little combo right there,
Yeah.
for a pullback and a test of 3.8, maybe before going higher.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting that you got rejected, and then you did confirm. You do have confirmation up there. So, at a minimum, I'm going to say, all right, you can pause here. You can do maybe a sideways move, come back down in a little reaction. Again, 4%, 3.88 sounds, and it probably even sounds even better. But it has to get under 4.25. Once this declines, let me blow this up. Oh, go here. You have a 3 week range that you're about to break, and that is from the low from 2 weeks ago. Again at 4.266. So you close
Yeah.
425. Let's say this thing can really fall out of bed by tomorrow. That would be big. That would be a big bearish candle with a weekly 1618 right at the peak. I mean, exactly at the inflection. That means something with confirmation. Um, the way I would look at that is just minimum reaction off the measured move of a 236 or 382 just proportionally is not a crazy idea. It's there's 1618 and 236 would be like kind of like what you're saying. 3.766, but a 382 little retrace move. Wow, would you get you back to 303? That sounds crazy, but I going to entertain that possibility with such a
Because they
clear
finally
1618
did
rejection.
something different, right? They finally showed a little bit of, right, dovishness by talking about the 50 basis points versus 75 now, right? I mean, that right there would be some sort of little silver lining change that might be something that would reverse you. It makes sense. And the daily, looking at it, it kind of, I think it lines up in a perfect bearish three drives. Your first peak,
Mm,
September 26th, second, October 20th, and your third drive, November 4th. Fib extensions from each high to low, you have different 1.618s locally. So, I mean, it meets the criteria for three drives, and you
like
just
this.
completed the third wave, that third drive, and that's normally when you reverse. And so, again, if you're Volkowski kind of exhaustion pattern, reversal pattern with the Fed kind of showing a little bit of dovishness, being at a 1.618 with weekly bearish divergence and daily triple bearish divergence on the third peak, of course, locally. I mean, that is a very strong argument for a potential reversal, though we never know. We never act like we know. I mean, that's what you do. Like, right, as an analyst, you try to build an argument based on variables at key levels. And that's kind of maybe what we're doing right now on the US 2-year yield by looking at it.
Yeah, 1618, 1618 on that third thrust. Um, Again, as that develops, it becomes more significant, but you have all of the signs. You actually had a 3 bar reversal. Uh, what was that? Yesterday? Yesterday, yeah, right there. At under 457. This is significant stuff, and it's the biggest thing you've seen in quite some time. Last time you had a nasty bear candle was really maybe there, and that wasn't so much a 3 bar or over here, but no continuation. So you'd want to see that. Tomorrow's a critical day for that to continue lower. If you're going to see this stuff do anything, year end reaction, year end rally, I mean, this would have to go. So that's a kind of an underlying chart that I know a lot of people are looking at. Here's the 10-year though. It's actually this is a little bit better on your daily reversal candle, and then the weekly does have. Now
Oh,
this is
man.
interesting that I've been talking about. Where look, we have this. It's an ugly bat structure, but for the way that we look at it, we've acknowledged. Yeah, the pattern's ugly. Fails the
The
886.
lower high on the US 10-year. Look at that
Yeah,
lower high. There was already bearish divergence. Um, October 24th, I had identified, and now you just pretty much attempted a rally and you made almost the exact same high, but it was slightly lower. So it was almost like there was triple bearish divergence. But if you make a lower high, it's just bearish convergence. So it's even a little bit weaker. And it confirms a little bit of distribution, maybe. So, yeah, that's okay. We're getting a pullback on them, and that makes sense.
yeah,
And that
that's
could
a
continue.
pause. I'm willing to go pause
Yeah.
here. I'm willing to say I'll respect those signs. I'll respect it. Yeah, as crazy as that got. Um, this this did get overextended. Our optimal range was 366 for this pattern. It got as high as 430, but it's another situation where pattern completes down here, but the confirmation variable doesn't come in until much later. It's definitely not ideal, but a minimum pause here. Give it go into a 30 bar pause, 20 bar pause, 20 day, 20 week, something like that, where come back and retest some of this action. And another way to think about this, I was showing this on Bitcoin of sometimes these final legs do the 1618 extension, and it's a beautiful spot to set up divergence. And that's what happened here on the bonds, where you did have that final move up into the top, where again, another little local 1618 that was around 407, 406, and confirmation. And maybe you come back for a 382, just like the rest. It still puts you down to 350. So these have some room, possibly. Has to follow through tomorrow to get going and do anything, but there's some things here. And I thought that was, you know, eh, pretty significant, pretty, um, important on an underlying level of at least there might be, even if it's a counter trend rally, maybe this is something to look at.
So we want to put our money in T bills. Do we think we'll get higher later? Think we'll ever get on a 10-year 5%?
Here's the yield chart on daily. Where's the? I've been all over the place. What's the 4 hour?
Because these rates have been getting really interesting, at least to a point where you would entertain the idea of parking some of your money in them.
Here's the 2 year yield, the futures on the price chart. So remember, when price goes up, yield goes down, vice versa. And you did have a shark on the 2 year yield here. This is 2 year government bond down at what was that, 98 handle was the hop level.
But
And
what ticker is this?
this is
US
2 year
O2?
yield futures chart
Gotcha.
with trading the
Oh,
price,
yeah.
not the yield. We were looking at interest rates before. So rates going
Mhm.
down, prices coming up. And on this chart, if we can get above a lot of the highs for the year, let's say if you hear this, let's say if yields can get above, what is that, about 100, probably you'll just hear, okay, yields are breaking out on the 2 year highs of the year. It's not yield, sorry, the price. So that would be yields going down. This has to
I'm not
continue
reading
down.
this on the chart. It says like 100, apostrophe 3, apostrophe 5.
Yep. So 99.24, what's that? 100, it's trading 103 right now. All right, that's the price. We were looking at the yields before. Slightly different structure, obviously more volatile, but has really a pattern with the shark there, confirming from the June lows is the way to read it. And then you got confirmation. So I'm looking at this next test around 100. You can get above 100, get to, I don't know, like 100 court. Essentially just above these highs from the year, you're going to make more progress to the upside. And yields come down, prices go up. Go to here's the weekly chart, because it's, there you go. It's, and the
Yeah,
week,
pretty
it's
range
not
bound,
doing,
man. It's like a stable coin
yeah, it's
almost,
not, it's
since
not on the weekly.
2014.
Weekly doesn't show it as well. Let me go to the 10 year. Huh, that's an amazing chart. Oh, you know what I wanted to show you before I get out of here is look at the VIX. So the VIX has been the other
So
one
suppressed.
that had a bearish
10%
pattern
down
last week.
today. God.
S&P,
Bearish
there
and
you
golden
go.
candle below the 200-day moving average, but still showing higher lows than the previous lows.
We've been looking at the VIX, wondering why it wasn't higher, because we had this shark pattern. And we went bearish on HSI. Just what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, man, they figured it out. They figured out how to tame this thing. We haven't seen 40 all year, which is crazy. This is like the worst year since '08.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm really surprised that that has not at least flashed up to retest the shark at like 40. That would be the ideal spot where you could see some kind of capitulation and you register kind of a secondary test of that resistance going back beginning of the year. I mean, amazingly, we were at the beginning of the year, we were much higher than we are now.
They were like 38 or something, right?
Yep. And then
Yeah, we just
COVID,
couldn't get there.
I mean, your COVID was 85. COVID low was 85. So pretty remarkable. I don't, that VIX isn't going to change until probably we get down to the 21 handle, 20 area. VIX is moving in the right way for a pretty nasty divergence of price action going down, especially after last week. But VIX
Yeah,
every
yeah.
day lower.
You've seen the 2008 analog chart, right?
Yeah,
And what you know where we are, right?
yeah,
On that.
yeah.
Yeah, the calm before the storm, you would say, right?
Let's pull that up. That's one that on not only the VIX but S&P has been amazing. I think the VIX is kind of threatening more so. Uh, where'd that go? I just had that up. Yeah, something like this is. Yeah, here you go.
What is this? Like,
That's
oh,
from
what
like
is
a
it?
month ago, 2 months ago. But there's the analog chart, and we're already back down here. That's S&P versus 2008 22.
Yeah,
So
this is like the last pullback before apparently explosion to 100 or 90 or whatever.
yeah, I mean, not it's by no means not to just dismiss it, write it off. Okay, nothing's going to happen here. I just think we'll probably launch off of a come back and retest these lows on VIX, low 20s before you do anything. Which amazing that just it going complete opposite way than I think a lot of people were projecting for this report. This could have been the breakdown report, could have really smashed it. Um, but
Would have been too easy if that was the case.
and here's the thing. Here's the group of stocks that, in terms of macro and market wise, that it is impressive. That I've had kind of a top 5 crypto list and a top 5 stock list. The top 5 stock list was pretty much FANG, which is stuff like Microsoft, where we've got a bunch of patterns at 220, 221, now 240. Let me isolate this and show you. There you go. Another crab pattern too on the retest. So this reaction, maybe we go up to target 1 and then come back down, retest, something like that. A whole bunch of crab patterns. I mean, remarkable stuff. It explains at least the reaction for now. Google, daily, another crab pattern. Terrible price action in the zone except for today. And this could give you a type 1 back to 103. Like that. Then Meta. These all, and this was a weekly. I want to get your opinion on what you think of this, because it's like, is this overspill? Is this just an overspilled market where it just went a little
Mm,
too far beyond the measured move? Because right off the hop, 97, now trading 109. If that's a type 1 and those lows hold, you have no confirmation. I'm just throwing this out here structurally for the patterns that are presenting themselves. Uh, Terrible price action. I would still want to wait another bullish candle, bullish week before I would even assume this is other than a 1 week phenomenon. But
I would want to wait till we made a high or a low on Google. I mean, you're these like a 7% rally. That is a key characteristic of a bear market. Like moves like that after melting down, and it's a gap too. So the gap's like, okay, easily could just fill, or the markets are so liquid now, it could just gap down 5% tomorrow. These are just terrible market conditions. And these are the type of moves you're gonna get. You should all expect moves like this, especially like what is it every other week or every week now? There's just it's like there's an earnings report every week for everything for the index funds because everything is so beholden to anything that is said. It's like almost a religion, a financial religion. Okay, we must all, you know, program our bots to react violently to anything Jerome Powell says or doesn't say or implies, or maybe it doesn't imply. I don't know, right? So you drew down. I mean, the measure move of that bear flag was 80 bucks, 80.65, and you got as low as 83.47. There was an unfilled gap at 82.32. You didn't quite get there. You got back above $86, a key inflection point. I mean, I guess you could say from September 2020 all the way through November and December 2020. You're above that. They're just all these unfilled gaps. And in these market conditions, you'll forget about gaps. I mean, there's a gap to fill at 103 that I could fill, but just as easily the $87 gap that's open now could fill just as the same as the 86.40 gap could fill. I just
Yeah.
good luck with this. And you know, I mean, how many times in history does it have to happen where you see like you're sitting at a 50% retrace. Dow's theory, right? I mean, after a 50% retrace, that is oftentimes where an asset can reverse. But we see, 50% like retraces, reactions happen all the time. And all that happens, it manifests into a lower high. And then later we roll over and eventually see a 618, which is at that gap fill at $77. So, I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it's like par for the course.
I mean, the diamonds have been
Typical.
impressive. They had a couple patterns at the June lows. Here's the diamonds, butterfly at 290, basically generally the 300 level. And I've been looking for this thing to roll over because we hit the target and we had an overbought trigger. Now, where does it check back? Right there, 2 days ago. And so one, two, is that our second bearish candle today? You're right on the edge, and a couple of bearish candles here. Then I would have to anticipate it. Otherwise, then you just keep going up.
Yeah, a gap like today, man, this candle on the daily on the Dow Jones, where it's at, man, it's incredible, right? Isn't this is an 886? We're like, yeah, today, pretty much at the height of the day, we hit the 886 from the previous high from August,
Yep,
the
that's a great
DIA.
one right
So it's
there.
like an informal M shape because yeah, I know what you would say would be B and C are too perfect, but okay, give me an informal 886 harmonic, a W shape. And what happened last time? I mean, the last time from April to the low in June, you went up to a 78% retrace before rolling over. And then before that, you could even look at, I mean, this is the level, like even a high from February 9th to the low March or February 23rd. Would you do March 29th and April 20th? You double top that in 886. So I think you got a little trend
All the way
going
back there.
where the Dow Jones is prone to run up and make those deep retraces, 786s or 886s. We've exceeded the 786 now, and we're testing the 886 as of today at the height and no higher. And you gapped up. Um, we would now look for maybe some 4-hour bearish edge. There is bearish edge. It looks like RSI bearish divergence a little bit.
Well, you did, yeah, you hit just a couple days ago. I mean, you did register an overbought RSI on the daily, really critical, actually triple readings for what we look at, which I think is really important. And you know, I'm so focused on this area right here that you, you do a bearish candle today. Uh, yeah, that it could be it. This could be a 1 day phenomenon. It's again, it's
They
not
normally
really in a
are
best position.
historically.
What's that?
CPI reports, GDP numbers, whatever, they normally are like 1 day things that happen. And they're like bull traps. They've been bull traps this year. Not every time, but they have definitely like, people are playing this. Like, good luck, man. Good luck playing, making your trading plan based off some old guy in a suit saying something. Like, that's just, normally doesn't go your way. It'll go the opposite of your way. There's no edge when you do that. So wow, you're up 7% today because you maybe played that. Great, dude. You better close out your position. Better be a day trader in that situation.
Check out the Russell IWM here. Really interesting. It has a secondary test. We had a crab back in May, and it did the 1-2 quite early. Did 1-2, and it did yet another move. Um, Really, the 1-2 was over. We came back a couple weeks ago at around 164. Now we're hitting another area. I think this is pretty telling where if the Russell was going to explode, this should be really busting to new highs for the move. That another one to keep an eye on, and you're hitting some overbought levels as well on Russell. Essentially, ETF at what's that one? Yeah, about 185, and that looks like a Gartley. Let me see this on the hourly. I think looks like a Gartley for the month. Let's see if this pops up here.
What, XP November 1st or
Oh,
something?
nice 5-0. Don't see that 5-0 is too much. Um, yeah, retesting that 184 level for the Russell. Like if this was going to be an explosive move up,
Why is it testing and rejecting it?
you're right at the 886 for the month. This needs to go. Would have to do literally, I think, by tomorrow. Follow through with a move like this, or you're just looking at a 1 day phenomenon. I think I see why that's not generating. It's not really fit the dimensions. But here's the 886. Probably a Bartley, as you say, 185.
Yeah, for me on this one, I've just the way I've been looking at the Russell 2000 is just it is a dragon, a confirmed dragon, and it broke out, in mid October, and it's virtually achieved that 618, which would always be like your first target of a dragon, with a 786 being second. You're nowhere close to 786. You technically haven't even touched the 618, but you're like virtually around there. You're kind of like maybe today confirming a top there. So a dragon hits one target and that's it. That's typical for a bear market, I guess. So no higher lows. Like I know I get it. Like maybe confirmation low, June the low, and now we have another low in late September, early mid October. But that doesn't like just because you get a double bottom and a well established long term downtrend does not reverse the trend. A lot of people get misconception that it does. It doesn't. And until you start like taking, I mean, you haven't even taken out your high from September 12th yet. And you certainly haven't taken out your high from August, mid August. So there's just the trend is still long term bearish despite this, the buyers defending the 2018 and pre COVID crash highs twice now. You're still technically not in an uptrend, but hey, whatever. I mean, of course, it could continue to rally, and that would make sense because a dragon can go to the 786 oftentimes. We see where the Dow Jones is. The Dow Jones is already at its 886
Yeah,
compared to the Russell 2000 that's only at its 618. So massive underperformance by 2 fib nodes. So, I mean, just
that's the I'm showing the weekly. It's coming off the 50
there's
level
that
at
confirmation low, maybe.
COVID low. But here's your go back to the daily. 185. You can't get above 185 probably today or tomorrow. Yeah, then expect that to roll back over because you're still under the constraints of the downtrend. I mean that I agree with that with all of these 1 day things
It
where
is pretty though. I'll tell you, man. You're looking at the weekly like that. You can see on the weekly on all these index funds, there has been well developing bullish divergence. And I'm talking like triple bullish divergence right here on on the IWM.
what like
Um,
MACD.
yeah, MACD, and now you have tail end RSI bullish divergence class B, where you made the low in
Yeah,
June, and now you're making the exact same low with substantially higher relative strength. So you are showing really, and it's at an inflection point. So that's the problem. It's kind of like Bitcoin was, where hey man, we're showing a bullish shark with a type 2 return and weekly bullish divergence on Bitcoin, but then FTX and you fall below 19,891. It's like all bets are off now, and it looks like still 14K, 11K. So I'm just saying, man, Russ 2000 on the weekly, it is very compelling to see a very visible, discernible confirmation low, and now you're back above very real inflection points from 2018 and 2020. And you are, in fact, right now above the 200-week moving average on the IWM. When you have significant time scales showing us so many variables at such key levels, it makes me reluctant, like to really want to like be short now. I mean, God, I don't want to short in the staring in the face of seller exhaustion and buyers defending a key level twice now on a weekly time like that. That's scary. I mean, like I wouldn't want to do that. But like we'll see. I guess we will see. And on the weekly, you have like an even larger dragon potential dragon pattern. I'll send you a screenshot. It's beautiful. In fact, just your complex wave structures. You completed the C wave, and potentially, I guess the theory here would be maybe you might start working on the D wave off the exhaustion. Just post it to you in your
Let me see.
Discord. I mean, that's a
Oh yeah.
wonderful combination right there.
Here's the chart Mitch sent with the
Like I would
200. Yeah,
I
that's what
would
we're
not want
talking
to
about.
short that at all, dude. I would not want to be short that.
Yeah,
Like just even if it's a bear trend,
there it is. There's the
that's too strong. There's too many variables. Those are the things in bull markets that make you just like, oh my god, man, this is it. This is a tradable long, like low risk.
if
Stop
you can
loss
get above
below
this 50
170.
level again on your RSI. Looks good. And this is what, let me go back to it. This is what Mitch is referring to with the higher low just made up back in early October. And now we get above the 50 level. Okay, you're in a lot better position, especially if you crack the RSI high from August. Get above 57, get to 60, then you trend your way on a weekly chart up to your 70. And usually when you go from 50 to 70, you get nice acceleration. So if that precedes, you get that progress on RSI and you get a breakout of the whole downtrend from the year, yeah, that's where then it could take shape.
And just think about what would be the most unexpected, like ludicrous thing like ever, like that no one thinks is gonna happen or what could happen or whatever. And you're just thinking like something obscene, almost and in a way sacrilegious. Like this, I don't think this can happen because of fundamentally what's going on with the markets, but you know, with the liquidity just being taken out and the Fed like selling their assets, I just don't know how you could get
Hmm.
this little joke to play out, but like something like that, I mean,
This is
is
what
interesting to think
Mitch
about.
is theorizing here.
I mean, even though, like, dude, I completely understand how this won't happen
Go to a
and know
bat.
it probably won't, but it's just,
Wow.
I
Look,
know.
this has been my thought of where are we going to get this oversold rally? Where are we going to get this thing to let up? Is it, or is it going to be a straight tax loss selling event into the end of the year?
Mhm.
You're early. I still say even with today, you're way early. It's only a 1 bar thing. With this, where we are here with the 200-day moving average, or that's 200. This is a week day 200-day. Um, no, that's week.
Oh, you talking about on my chart?
Yeah, I'm showing your chart
It's
here.
200 week.
200 week, yeah. And you did do the 1-2 low there. That's always the start of something you want to pay attention to. We have patterns on this second low. If it's Russell, if it's Microsoft or Amazon, and even a lot of them are ugly, you do have patterns. Let me bring this back out. And the other thing Mitch is showing is, yeah, you've got the weekly bullish divergence where, let me blow up your MACD. Your histogram is expanding week over week now, especially with today's move. I think you get above the 50 level on RSI with that continuing, which basically means you have to progress. You can't go backwards now. Then that could get it. That could get it going off of things like this. There you go. Um, try to go back and retest just short-term patterns, short-term targets. and still be in a downtrend if you want. I mean, it's not. It, I think we're all pretty much agreed that okay, a 1 day phenomenon. You need to see a lot more things happen uh, before you can even assume any kind of change. No doubt. I
Yeah,
want to
we
bring
have
over. I want to
work to
bring
do,
over.
but
I want to show one or two of patterns we've been looking at that were disasters on the retest, but I'm looking at them closely because maybe they're ugly, oversold. Look at Disney down here. And this is terrible price action, but it's a retest of the
oh my
bat
god, it's
pattern.
so bad. Weekly, I just like sorry, I went to Disney on the weekly and I almost threw up.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's one, two, almost hit the hop level. No confirmation. Still, why this whole thing is early. We talked about Disney last week, and where was the HSI was? Yeah, there's HSI, and that's where we left Disney. And looking for the full return back into the zone. I was saying around 94. This thing got to 87 and still oversold. So if this is going to completely fail, the hop goes.
I
And
think you're $78 target here.
yeah, um,
100%.
but you're still in the
Retrace.
oversold zone. At RSI, first time today in a long time, you have an oversold reading trying to come out. I guess go back to September, and then prior to that was June. But you haven't confirmed anything on this. And again, 85, absolutely, that's your make or break. And I know it's pretty much the same on the weekly. Might be a little bit lower. I think there's a it's an eight. It's COVID 886, like the
Yeah, you're
rest
at
of
it,
them.
and you've been there. You've been at the 886 since July, and it's kind of just pulling a Bitcoin, right? It's just like, and now you're pretty much you made that scrubby lower high, like the week of Halloween, and rolling over again, and you're going for your lowest. I mean, in 1 day, 3 hours, it will be confirmed your lowest weekly candle close since the nadir of the crash, March 16th week, 2020. That's terrible. And all formal support's really being broken. The big one, the big support that goes all the way back to, I mean, September of 2014, January, February 2015, August 2015, January 2016, October 2016, and even recently in July of 2022. You are now formally breaching that, violating that this week, as of a couple days ago on bad earnings. So, and the issue with Disney, even with it being at an 886, we're even starting to violate it now. The weekly RSI is pretty much fatal. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
you can't long. You can't, even if there's a harmonic completed, because the weekly RSI is at 36.5. I mean, it, it's it's in the bearish control zone. It's not oversold, and there's plenty of downside potential. They've gone woke, like terrible, terrible stuff they produce now. It's awful. I mean, this is something you would not want. I mean, I would not want to own anything about this technically or fundamentally right now.
they haven't confirmed.
$78 target.
Yeah, I mean you're failing those patterns on the retest. You have to exhibit some kind of confirmation. Not there yet. And again, anything there it still needs more time. It's not there. Go to the monthly's been really telling because you go back, where are you relative to the COVID low, and then tell me about your all time retracement. Like how much of that have you retraced, and the total range. You go back COVID if you're at the 886 and you violate that, and a lot of them like Facebook and other ones have done that. You have to be aware of these larger levels where
Oh man,
Disney,
it's so bad.
doesn't. There's nothing there. I mean, go to all
Yeah, you're
time again. Go to
2009 lows, but you anchor, or maybe even 2011. You start anchoring with Fibonacci, right?
yeah. I'm saying even the all time 50% retracements at 101, and you failed that. I mean, all time. If you were going to think like you were saying just not too long ago about simple Dow 50% corrections and give you something, there's not much at that all time 50% level really holding. So
No, man, that was like plunge protection team, Federal Reserve intervention. from 2011 all the way to 2015. That was some people are thinking we got this 40-year bull trend is like over now, and it was like a massive rising wedge. I saw like a tweet on it. It's interesting. I guess I could believe it with what's happening now. But you remember the Dow Jones? If you go to the weekly and you go to log scale, no, you go to the monthly and you go on log scale. It's
Um,
unreal what happened. Where
oh,
you can take a trend line that goes all the way back to 1929. You get your second anchor point, December 1999. And we had recently uprusted through that last year, and now we fell back below it April 2022,
let me bring
and we're
that up.
still below it. Yeah, and I'll
Monthly log or
monthly
quarterly
log
quarterly
scale
log.
DJI.
Let's see if I can get that.
It's just interesting. It doesn't mean like, oh man, we're, you know, going to zero, or it's
All
even
time
gonna.
history going back to 1900.
Yeah, it's posted the chart for you to see it too.
All
Just
right,
it's
that
interesting.
a lot easier. Let's see that. Oh, here we go. So there's the all-time Dow chart, upper trend
But man,
level.
that monthly was Jesus levels last month. I mean, massive bullish engulfing candle and catch and fall through. Initially, we got 20 days to go, but so strong because of energy. But energy is so overbought now, man. It's like eventually you think that would pull back some.
I was just going to ask you what you thought about that because I'm flashing big patterns across the board on all of these.
And
I
we
mean,
were last time and it reversed, and then now it's right back at those same levels.
check on
Kind of
ExxonMobil. Let me go to,
check out XL. Yeah, okay. XOM. It's ridiculous. All time highs yesterday, right? That's
I
crazy.
think so. Here you go. Where's
It's
the
insane.
weekly chart on this? There you go. Bring this up. So here's your weekly. Yeah, it was actually maybe even today, or no, early yesterday. And I'm flashing a crab.
1272.
It's not a
Yep.
traditional crab, but it's
I got a butterfly.
yeah. So you could project a couple of different
It's
structures
at the
here.
PCZ of the butterfly, at least the beginning threshold, the 1272.
Well, that was my question. What you thought of this, especially from a confirmation perspective, where it
This
seems like
area.
you're doing, one of
Yeah,
these,
it's
like
a
a
little
little
different.
113 on the long term for there's ExxonMobil. XLE is pretty much the same. Where
Yours is
is
a little
this a
different than mine.
failed breakout? Is this, and you have,
Oh, an uprust.
yeah, like at another 113 that basically came in yesterday, the 1127. That's the inverse of the 886. And so you hit a huge monthly, quarterly 113 inflection where you have other patterns. And I mean, for me, relative strength, a lot of those readings are rolling over. Um,
Yeah.
just a critical spot on crude oil in general with the other
It's you
patterns.
are showing, looks like on the weekly, Exxon's showing some continued bearish divergence on the RSI. It's pretty perfect. But do you see what I posted, how I posted for my interpretation maybe of like a W there?
Let me
With
see
this
that.
X being June's high, the
I
786 on B.
think I lost you. Wait, where's the window? Bear with me 1 second. Hold on 1 second, everybody. Gotta bring up. Got too many windows open. There you are. Okay. Dang it. Hold on. Did I just
So good.
disconnect? You're there. No.
No, I'm here. Yeah, I'm good.
1 second. I took myself out, I think. Oh, I got this. Okay, great.
Like
Eh,
try to call a top on this is so tough. If it's a 1272, fine. But if it's a potential butterfly, then it's like, my God, I go to the 1618, could outperform like crazy because that's all it does is outperform.
Yeah, that is a butterfly structure.
Yep, completing at least to its minimum. But I just don't know. Like, this is just. I mean, it is reacting. Yeah, that
Let me
definitely on
show
the like weekly
XLE
you can't tell.
because
Yeah.
XLE it's back there again.
Oh God, dude, it's crazy.
There you go.
XLE is crazy. It's testing and not able to break that 2008 high. This is serious. And want to talk about an 886, huh?
Exactly.
Want to talk, yeah, that 2014, just before the oil glut started. That is, oh my God, dude.
There you go. 886
We
on
were
the
here.
dime.
We talked about it, I guess, early this summer. It happening. Now it's doing it again. Bro,
And I
that's
have an HSI
insane.
signal, which is just checked back off of the previous high. That XLE high at 93.31. Oof.
Dude.
93.48 yesterday and failed. And that was your first monthly retest rejection at all time 886 on XLE. What does that tell you? With I got some patterns there too. Just straight up, the algos are kicking out pattern structures that I want to respect. And then here's your quarterly chart, Mitch. Look at this. You would do your 1, 2, 3. You'd be like this.
Quarterly, huh?
One, and then two. Oh, let me bring this up like this, and then you got your head, left
Oh
shoulder,
yeah.
head, and then
Momo shift.
right shoulder with HSI. A couple of the things, but that could be an area to be focusing. 886 flat out. It's I like to call it a harmonic head and shoulders because it would look like this. Go like this, like this. There's there, left shoulder, bang, head at the 113, and then right back, and there's your right shoulder at an 886. So now this makes the quarterly, monthly ranges critical. You're then honing down on say this daily, which just registered an oversold or overbought HSI again. You start getting under 87 here, having retested and failed the top for the year. That's a pretty big event. Looks like this.
Yeah, and like I mean, maybe people are getting complacent and people are gonna FOMO into energy now, and it's like, dude, if you are FOMOing into energy now, when it could be like even visibly on the monthly double topping, this is maybe the worst place to ever try to long. Holy crap! This is the highest risk area for energy for a long you could ever get. There is no higher risk area unless it's just going parabolic and is in outer space somewhere at a 1618. But I'm talking about if you're talking about an asset that's been in a range for 14 years, which that's pretty much what's happened, right? From 2008 to literally now, you have a range created between the price of 91.50 and let's just say $40, but COVID crash happened, so it broke that level for a little while, M-shaped, and it's reversed, and now you're back at it. And it being at the top of the range that goes back 14 years, you tested it once in June, and now you're testing it for the second time. You know, five months later, it's like maybe we're looking at the weekly. I'm looking at the weekly. It might be a little too early because you could just break through it next week. But dude, this is serious. I mean, this is like how tops get put in.
This shows
How,
you the
yeah.
ratios here of the exact moves. I talk about this in my volume 3 book, the harmonic head and shoulders. It's really just bring the ratios in, but I do think utilizing the proper ratios, it has to be reciprocal. So your left shoulder extension, whatever that is, your right shoulder needs to be reciprocal. So that's a 113. Your right shoulder needs to be an 886, which it is. Again, extremely early, but structurally, you hit it. You retested it. Now, are you going to do stuff? You roll over here to get it going down. Yeah, absolutely not. No reason to long here. And you're getting overbought readings, amplified RSI, HSI on the quarterly. So you're looking for that to basically do a one bearish candle down to set off the termination of that move. I'll show. There's a couple here that are really interesting. Here's one that I know on the daily, just completed a couple days ago. Marathon Oil. Take a look at this. Beautiful Gartley. Beautiful Gartley right at the top. Bat Gartley. You got both of them. Basically
Mm-hmm.
$31. Confirmation. The second bearish candle happened 2 days ago. So that's it. And that even for a lot of these on the daily, you've entered the small reaction zone. Occidental Petroleum, which is Buffett's favorite. Where'd that go? Yeah, here you go. Another bat pattern. Beautiful type 2 on Oxy. Beautiful. And type 1 down to target 1 or 2, come back, and now go to target 2. $61 is the target for that.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
yeah, as of yesterday, with that breakdown, consider that rejected. That's the problem going on there. I think Devon Energy was the other one. Bat. There's a bat. Beautiful bat. Hit the 886. So energy is telling you a different story. Tech is trying to do something.
Energy's like the thing that's making the D. Okay, so if you're looking at this, and we know the DJI or the DIA is outperforming the other index funds, and it's solely because of the XLE and individual assets that are energy based. If you're where you are on XLE and how you know that the Dow Jones is at an 88% retrace from its high to low, that right there, a little bit of critical thinking could lead you to believe you are topping out. Like that is what is constructing an argument for you based on traditional technical analysis, which is what it's all about, right? I mean, anyone come in and be like, "Oh, I feel a certain way about something. I don't have any evidence, but I feel a way." Well, this is a way of like constructing an argument, and it's based not on your feelings. It's based on levels, right? And again, looking at sectors, individual assets, and then looking at index funds where I mean these assets are driving the price higher on the index fund. So that right there to me, it's really tough because we talk about all this, but then we look at the Russell 2000 that on the weekly looks almost the inverse of what we're looking at on XLE a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's so contradictory now, you know. You got almost a double bottom dragon potential on the Russell 2000, back testing supports and holding them twice with triple bullish divergence. And then you look at the XLE and it's confirming a top at a 2008 high. Wow, man. Whacked out market.
Yeah, again, no correlation. You got a lot of disjointed activity going on, and a lot of blowups. A lot of blowups where it's difficult to trust the long setups. And you want to like run to safety for the things that are working, but when you're at like an 886 like XLE is right now, not a place where you're looking to long. So
God, no. Worst place ever, actually.
oh god, look at this. Let me just bring in the last, there you go. There's the last 20 years, and head and shoulders. I mean, again that left shoulder really standing out. So you're up here. All it would take is some kind of significant weekly reversal candle, 3-bar candle,
Yeah.
something up there that would basically give you a top that looks like, where's my box highlighter? Yeah, kind of, just do it like this, where you have some kind of run up into that high, you break that uptrend, run up into that high, break that uptrend. Okay, We already had one trend line break. We had it came up to that right shoulder, broke it. Your secondary test here, breakdown. Look for that breakdown. It's again, a lot of these are 2, 3 bars away, maybe a week away until they confirm. But we're putting ourselves in those places to anticipate it. Certainly not looking for long. I don't think it's going to break out. I don't, not looking at. If anything, I'm clear out of energy. I actually sold my last energy yesterday, and
Perfect place to sell if you're looking at the XLE, mother of God.
yeah, maybe 886 a little bit higher, but uh, everything else just registered. It's a tough
Oh
spot. I
man.
mean, it really with crude oil doing what it did. I expect that um, to have some kind of reaction after policy should change for with as a result of the elections. That's one way I think people might be thinking about it. For us, we're like you said, we're looking at levels. We're waiting for signals, not necessarily feel anything other than the recognition of those concrete signals up here. That's a big one too. I mean, you're talking monthly, quarterly resistance for the year, and we can basically nail that down within a week or 2 weeks of action of this rolls over, this larger scenario begins to take shape. Critical stuff.
All right, yeah. Sorry, I'm like gonna tweet this
You got it.
just about this because this is like a serious development that no one saw it coming, but it's like, dang, dude. I'm saying, regardless of what comes next, what if XLE just breaks it like it was nothing and goes up to 102 to test the all-time high from June 2014? Um, yeah, okay. Well, either way, I mean, I'm talking about like somebody who is a trader, whether a swing trader, position trader. If you're playing the numbers game and you're taking fresh longs here, and you're continuously 100 different trades, 100 different assets, and each time you're taking a long every single time on the and doing the exact same thing you're doing on XLE. Maybe it goes up one time, but the majority of the time the asset is going to reverse here. And so the trade, it's not about the one trade, it's about the many. So it's just like trying to take a long here, being a trader who plays the numbers games, you will get obliterated long term trying to long here. That's kind of like where I'm going with it.
Yeah,
Um,
Chevron, same deal. Chevron, I thought they had a Gartley up there. Either way, you're poked above the all-time high just a couple sessions ago, but you're not following through, and could be potential double top up here at 180. That's Chevron, by the way. Sorry.
DVX, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Jeez,
where a lot
man.
of the stuff you do, the divergence, the histogram, MACD stuff, really can clarify what that failed action, price action signaling. I've got a few things that are overbought and it's rolling over right now. Here's amplified RSI rolling down, not in a
Wow.
spot where it's breaking out. So again, these are the big ones.
I'm sure you maybe brought it up, and if you did, my bad. But like, if you go to the monthly on Chevron and you anchor high point July 2014 to your COVID crash low, look what has been tested for the first time ever as of this month. And I'm talking like to the dollar. To the
Mm,
dollar, man.
yeah,
Do you see it? Have you done it?
yeah, it's the 1618.
Yeah, but like last month, didn't test it. Guess what? June, May, you didn't touch it.
Yeah,
Only this month. Only in ever.
that's
And I
amazing.
think that's very, very interesting. Yeah.
That's like the bonds too. I mean, so those are
Yeah.
and that stuff matters. Listen, we talked about a lot today. The bonds hitting a 1618 weekly and getting rejected. Now we're talking crude oil hitting a 1618, getting rejected. That's Chevron. Let me see if I can go back all the way there. Yeah, it's off of this. It's off of here. And as a cycle, think of it just like as a natural harmonic cycle. That's done for now. And what we look for is a 382. I mean, you want to be super conservative, go 236. You can use that number. and that's
Two, three,
150.
six.
236 is, other people have used that. It does work on the scale. I like to prefer the 382, but I'm just saying if you were looking for a pause, if you're looking for some kind of a ballparking of what a minimum reaction would be, you can use 236, but 382 is really the expected. That's 135. So pretty bold to make that claim on crude oil, but it's there. And that could be a big one to be following into the end of the year.
Crude futures CL.
Yeah.
It already reacted reversed on the monthly at 114.57. Pulled back.
That's not crude. That's, hold on. Colgate
Yeah, I don't know, man. This
Palmolive.
one looks kind of okay. I mean, it actually CL looks okay because it's like hidden bullish divergence now.
Yeah. CL, yeah, the continuous futures has that, will forever have that negative stain on the chart.
Yeah,
Um,
man. The
here's the,
scar.
let me bring up this December 22 contract on CL, but hasn't done anything even in the face of all this inflation talk. We've languished at basically 85. Here's the weekly on that's December, so that takes out the big negative print. The low really was about 30, 35. Um, but go to the monthly here. There you go. That's that contract. That's pretty much a shark. We could trace that out, but um,
Mhm.
this is looks like this.
It could be a 113 shark with an X point on May of 2011 or an X point from 2008 being 886.
Yeah,
To me, it looks like that, just eyeballing.
yeah, it is. That's that 113 to there.
So confluence, different
Yeah,
anchor points. Pretty cool.
and that should go to 50. Shark to 50 on at 72 on the monthly. So spot price is nowhere near to turning around, rallying. There's the weekly. That's probably even better. I don't. I think you're maybe a one close under 85. Certainly under 82. I mean, a 3 bar reversal, and you almost did it back in June, trying to dump that. Suggest this is a major top. This was just to show on the futures at 125, even with the negative print. This 886 has held all along. This crazy all time. There you go, high to low. There's the total range. And let me do it on the monthly chart. There you go.
Dude, and I'm like looking at US oil and
Mm-hmm.
it's so bad. It's like it was showing that momentum shift. It broke a supply line. It is now already pretty much showing classic bearish divergence on this attempted rally at $93. So weak. It's like it was so set up maybe for higher prices. And now you're stalling, confirming a top and confirming a substantially lower high. Oh man, it's so bad. Just pretty much like a cipher shark situation too. It's like,
Do
dude, it's
that.
so bad.
382, $65. Even on the continuous chart, 125 was the 886. Again, another, you see that in the stocks. Okay, the stocks are all at the 886, XLE, and the rest of them. Crude oil already topped out months ago, doing its 382 move. The stocks will follow. The stocks will follow. I think that's, you know,
So bad.
yeah,
It's like a
already
little
kind of in the
W shape.
bag with what's going on. And your long-term support, even on crude, is crazy, but I don't know. Gonna back down at 40? It just static? That even if you were going to go long term, where are you? Overbought, oversold. And I wouldn't try to complicate it more than that. So Well, Mitch, man, 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wrap it up here, and we'll jump on tonight.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Appreciate you coming out, everybody. Give big shout out to Mitch. Thanks for uh, coming today. Um, I want to just kind of wrap up. Just let's take a quick peek back at Bitcoin before we get out of here, and Ethereum. What have they done so far?
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum.
Big update. Big update. But
Well, we started. It
yeah.
was 1350, got down to 1250, and Bitcoin. I don't. I'm just not even. I think it's more about Ethereum than Bitcoin. Just because Bitcoin has nothing here. I mean, it's really amazing that it didn't flush to down to 11. But I'll watch what Ethereum does structurally to see if that's going to confirm. Because if anything is going to happen, and Ethereum's going to do this. There you go. Let's go to here with our overbought, or excuse me, oversold trigger. It has to confirm the whole 1100 now.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I've been waiting for $1,015 since September 18th.
Yeah,
And we
886
got
off
very
that low,
close.
1,000.
Yeah, just the massive M shape, and you still haven't received that. You still haven't gotten there yet. So, I mean, just because you had a huge day to day doesn't take away the fact that you're down substantially. It reversed at a perfect level at a supply line, a 200-day moving average, 1663. So, I just think this is like there was just so much overwhelming selling yesterday. This is the type of price action you get in bear markets, and you're not recapturing the open from yesterday at 1329. So I just these moves happen like after crashes and dumps. They'll occur, and it doesn't mean like you're reversing or anything.
No,
So you just gotta see it and be like, okay, it happened. What am I gonna do on a massive reaction? Am I gonna buy into it? Why? What happens when the new day comes and you just start dumping immediately again? Which, or you just start dumping before the end of the day. I just it's really the CPI report that has helped this macro certainly, right? Where you had the dovish print or whatever, and then the discussion of not raising interest rates by point or 75 basis points, only 50. Market loved that. That's pathetic. It's pathetic that you have a 7.7% CPI print and the market loves it. Market's like good with it. It's pathetic. So I think it was just massively oversold, destroyed, capitulated markets on top of a macro. You had the index funds that had a massive rally off of one of the biggest rallies of the entire year for index funds today. So that, and you're telling me with all that going on, I'm looking at Ethereum on a daily, I can barely even tell. I mean, you know, can barely tell. And you're still below 1420. So if you're below 1420, the target's $1,000. It's like you're talking about like support resistance. If Bitcoin's below 18 or 19,891, your eventual target is still minimum 14K. Like Bitcoin, if you're looking at Bitcoin, you are just back testing the old zone of support we had been trying to build for 5 months. You were just back testing that zone as resistance. In fact, you haven't even tested the heart of the zone. It would actually be more. It would make more sense probably if Bitcoin went to test 18,600, but hasn't done that yet. 18,600 is, between 18.6 and 18.6 or 18,950. That's the real zone. You're talking Black Saturday lows, July 1st, July 13th, September 8th, September 21st, all the way through October 21st. That's the area, and that has not been back tested yet. So, really, I mean, I feel like even if it's gonna do a back test, it hasn't even gone to it yet. So, not sure how you could be very optimistic in this situation just because it's up many green percentage points today.
well,
Technically, it doesn't matter.
watch that Solana thing. Watch the FTT. If that gets worse, the Solana they delayed that lockup the release of the staking.
which is unreal, man. Like
Yeah,
that. That's why I think like why not zero on Soul? Why not? I mean, seriously, you can't do that, man. You cannot get into a contractual obligation agreement as an entity, and say that okay, this is the date that everything will be unstaked. You will be able to do. You're free to do what you want with your money. I'm telling you this because if I didn't tell you that, then you may not put your money in to stake it. So then they agree, and then the day before they're supposed to unstake all these coins, they say, you know what? Go F yourself. No, our money now, not yours. You can't do anything about it. You're stuck. That's crazy. That's like when that happens, it's no longer even crypto. It's just a scam.
that's the problem
Just
I
a
have
scam.
with it.
So I
That's
think Solana is a scam, a legit scam.
with the whole space. And again, I agree
Most
with.
of crypto is scam. Yes, most of it is. Absolutely. I'd say 99% of crypto is scam. 99%.
Yeah.
18,000 coins.
And then what's the
And
right price
but I
for
love
Bitcoin?
crypto. What you say?
In light of that, in light of, okay, if the number one guy who was supposed to be the number one savior was a scam, so what's that say? What's the right price of Bitcoin? Because the thing to learn from what we've seen the last couple of days is these prices are trading at their price at the prices currently, but if someone has to go and sell and it's known, like some big player, and $100 million is not a huge position that gets dumped on the market every day in stocks, what have you. But with crypto, if someone has to sell a big position, you see what the true liquidity of the market is. It's not there. And again, it's a fraction of what the trading price is. So think about if Saylor has to liquidate. Is he going to liquidate everything? Let's say he has to liquidate a couple hundred million of Bitcoin. He's not going to get it
Yeah,
out
you'll
at
see it.
17,000 and everyone's going to know about it before he has to go to the market. That's the problem with what's happened in the last few days and you don't know. I mean, I had Sol earlier this year. I never owned that FTT, but I've had a few that have blown up that no fun, and it's more about an integrity issue because you got people screwing with the accounts, which we never
Yeah,
thought would
man.
happen, but here we are.
And this is going to be a massive learning lesson. I think this does set crypto back substantially. I really do. You had all these years between 2018 and 2020 bull market to come up with innovations, use case for crypto utility. They came up with yield farming and NFTs, and now we've realized that NFTs were pretty much a scam. Beanie Baby, Euphoria, right? Tulip Mania, legit. And people talking about Bitcoin being tulip mania. No, it was actually NFTs were the tulips. And then yield farming turned out to be a major scam that most people that are in the know or that have seen what's happened would never ever stake again because of what's happening. Like you see all these the major market cap cryptos that hey, it's either you stake and you're stuck for years or whatever with it and you can't pull out and you know that, and then the market you stake during decent market conditions, and then and then by the time the market like your unstaking happens, the asset's lost 95 to 99% of its value, and could be insolvent, and then you may lose your money altogether, or you get to a point where that same thing's happened, but now the entity is saying, nope, we're not letting you we're not unstaking your coins. It's stuck or we are halting withdrawals or this or it's like you can't trust anybody, no one, there's no. But hey, the great thing about it is like with Bitcoin that can't happen. With Bitcoin, no, there was no innovation needed between 2018 and 2020, right? There was nothing. It served its same purpose then, it serves it now. It's just based on the world conditions. Bitcoin's use case it's become more valid. It's seeing what governments are doing with the authoritarianism. Central bank digital currencies on like certainly going to be here in time. Um, Bitcoin, the status quo is the same, and I don't really care what price Bitcoin's at. It's going to give me individual sovereignty and be unhackable, and no one can freeze my Bitcoin and take it from me. So uh, everything else is centralized. Everything. Okay. Yeah, Monero, awesome. But the problem is with that, it's like, yeah, you gotta have your tax man and stuff. So, but yeah. Anyway, that was my rant. So
I appreciate it. Hey, listen, let's give away one more book for everybody that hung out. Let me get the next person that can put up a V2. You'll win a book. Let's give that away and give me a big thanks, everybody. Big shout out to Mitch for showing up today. I really, again, let's jump on tonight. What time do you start? 7 Eastern now?
7 Eastern, yep.
Time change still? It's still 7
Still 7 Eastern, yep.
Eastern. All
So
right.
it'll be like, instead of power hour, it'll be like when the daily candle closes, I go live now. So
Exactly. Larry Sargent, you win the V2. Please contact Miss Stephanie on the Discord, and we'll give away more books next Thursday. But again, thanks, Mitch. I'll join you again. I'm probably going to be 7:30 ish or so with my
cool.
responsibilities, but I'll text you on the Discord. And everybody else, again, thanks for this great session. And we'll talk some more tonight. Maybe we'll get a little drink ready for
Yeah, man, we can get a drink. It's been
get
a
a
while.
drink. Let's have a
Haven't
drink.
drank in a while. Yeah.
Nice. All right, my man. Have a great afternoon. I'll catch up with you later tonight.
All right, Scott. God bless.
You too. Okay, everybody. Thanks again. Get over to harmonictrader.com. For those that won your books, go to the basic members page. Here's the link for the Discord. Click that. Go there. Appreciate that. And sign up. Connect with Miss Stephanie. And if you have any questions, contact me, harmonictrader@gmail.com. Until then, folks, we'll be back on Monday. Join me over on Mitch's channel, Mitch Ray TA, tonight. I'll be there. He starts at 7 Eastern. You guys know that. Everybody else, have a great weekend. We'll catch you Monday, 12 Eastern. Have a great one. As always, go get them and take care.